Mad.
Everyone's got nice-looking snacks, and I didn't get any, and I'm real upset about it. Oh, Tesh with his caramel M&Ms. They sound so good. I want them. I want them so much. I did have so like the Easter chocolate is starting to come in. So I have Cadbury mini eggs. They're the only thing I have within arm's reach.
Easter is just before my birthday every year, and so there's always Easter chocolates everywhere around at my birthday, and I'm always happy.
Anyway, you take a couple minutes after that fight to, just breathe, patch up the immediate wounds. Although, because it's mostly punches and getting knocked around, it's maybe a couple of splints, but nothing much more than that. And plan your next action.
Well.
You almost should have let one of them run off so that they knew we were going this way. Gesundheit.
Thank you.
Well, we can...
Here, I have an idea. And I'm just going to go over to one of the bodies and then go back to Baru it. Be like, can I borrow some parchment?
Actually, if you let me do that, if they have any sort of note, if they have any orders on them or anything, I'm going to go start searching. Because if I see if I see an order, I can duplicate the writing.
Give me a investigation check. They don't seem to have anything on them at all, aside from their clothes.
Damn it.
Yes, I have.
What I'm gonna do? Actually, you know what? I don't need it. And I'm gonna turn it back around and go back to the body.
I don't.
And I'm gonna pull out the dagger that I gave as a gift to my brother.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna pull one of the monk's robes off and turn him over and just write the giant equivalent of "fuck you" into his back with the knife. And then just be like, they'll find this. And then go back to Brew and be like, shall we?
Do you want me to flash the magical keystone, or are we good just with this being our message?
I actually think this is probably good, because this will take them a little bit to find, at least. Gives us a bit of a head start.
Agreed. I don't think that we can go back through Aradia, though. Was this all of the priests that I saw on the way through?
You didn't see more than this. You never really saw their faces, but... And this is also consistent with the kind of, like, size of groups they usually seem to travel in as well.
So this was one hunting party, basically?
Seemingly.
Okay. There could be more groups in Aradia, but I don't know. If we do, we need to go straight to the docks and get out right away.
If we can find somewhere to get a rest, I can help us blend in again, trying to pass back through.
Rest would be good.
So, option for resting is you could go back into the city, or you could keep going and find, like, a smaller settlement.
Oh, we just want a short rest, preferably.
Short rest is also good.
I mean, I would love a long rest.
Let's take a short rest before we travel anywhere, and then we can take a nice long rest somewhere.
Yeah. I would suggest we go to a nearby town that's in a different direction from where we were heading out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would say we
go north.
Go north a little bit.
Yeah.
Do these guys have, like, jewelry of any kind, or is it just, like...
They have nothing but at least on the checks, nothing but the robes that they wear. They're wearing warmer versions of the robes you've seen before, which is actually funny, because they would be in mostly colder places. But mostly just to blend in with other people around here. They don't really have possessions or jewelry.
Make a point of taking, like, a strip of cloth from each robe of these guys and just basically take a big one from the Cyclops and wrap it around my belt like a loop, and then take a small one from each of the other ones and loop it in like rosary beads, basically.
Does the Cyclops have anything on it at all? Like bones? Like anything that a Cyclops might have?
They're wearing their, like, similar basic robes, but, like, they're like stitched together to make an outfit for her. She had her great club, but that's not something any of you could ever use. She's just a brutal weapon of wood and stone stitched together and stuff. Again, nothing really.
Okay.
It's the issue with having monks as your enemy. No loot.
Yeah.
That's why we gotta scam gnomes.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Look, it's a
You
gnome
would be
scam
broke
gnome
as
world
fuck if
out
we
there.
didn't do that.
That's not
Yeah.
good.
I like that saying. That saying is becoming a thing.
That saying probably is a thing,
It's
unfortunately.
a gnome scam gnome world out there.
North to town.
No, so do you want to take a short rest?
I think that's a wise decision.
I think a short rest to maybe find somewhere on the other side of a radio. We can take a long rest.
The other side of Aradia is the coast, isn't it?
But okay, so what you have described
what
to
do
me
you-
that you wanted to do is take a short rest now, here, and then go north to look for somewhere to stay the night.
Oh,
Correct.
okay.
Yes,
My bad.
I think we should.
That works too, because then I just want to stealth us on the way to like
Yeah,
finding
exactly.
something.
Yes.
Okay.
So first of all, also just
Do your hit dice if you want to do a short rest. Well, you know, balance in all things, I suppose.
I'll take it. Honestly,
Barb dice first.
It's quiet in those moments, you know, after that. Your dog starts eating, tearing chunks of the Cyclops' meat off, because
Perfect.
he's there. You have a dog.
I do. We very seldom bring him up, but he's around.
He's about. And the forest goes back to its natural state of a quiet tranquility. This is not a particularly magical part of the forest. Aside from the bodies, which I imagine when Barut is feeling better, he probably just doesn't bury them, but just puts them in a ditch, just out of the way.
I can take care of that.
Urwood is going to cover them with branches. Not all of them, except for the one that says "fuck you" on the back.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I
Uh,
don't mind helping you.
I will use that pass without. I'll use that pass without trace once we get to the town.
Okay, well, so you just basically want to go north until you find like the first settlement. Okay, going north from Aradia, the first area you seem to go into is actually a little bit familiar. It's vineyards. This area between Aradia and Thundral is mostly rolling hills between areas of forest that have vast vineyards on. Each one has a villa housing with the elves that work and live there, and there is going to be a settlement kind of between them all that they would all go and gather to. So you could either go up to one of these villa buildings or a little bit further and find where they congregate. But if you want to give me your stealth rolls with pass without trace, feel free.
I do.
Balance in all things.
Very cool.
36.
17.
18.
Yeah, sure.
Sure. So really, what's the plan?
18.
These vineyards are, of course, not in operation right now. It's winter. So you even have to take a little bit of time to see, like, which buildings are in use by checking which ones have, like, less snow around them and stuff like that.
I mean, we could use one of the ones that's not in use.
That's true.
Or, alternatively, we could go knock on their door.
Also true.
That's true. We can pay, so. I guess
To be
why make
honest
things
with you-
harder than they need to be?
I just don't unless the person who lives there happens to be one of these monks. I really don't think we have anything to worry about.
Yeah, that's true. I'm gonna go over and knock on the closest door.
That looks in use, please.
Yeah. You basically, the first, like, vineyard,
Yeah.
you go over to, like, its main building. You have to go, like, through a gate, but it's open. into areas that probably would be very pretty in like spring and summer, but are like the plants are dead. And a wood elven woman with quite dark skin will open the door and sort of a purplish, lilac-ish hair and kind of look over the is it just Baru who goes up, or all three of you?
No, Tobias is the one who went to the door.
That's what I meant. I knew that, but it's usually
I'm there
Baru.
as well. I'm there as well because I'm not letting Tobias go up to a wood elven vineyard.
I'll be up there as well.
She looks over and like, and then immediately is like, "What happened to the lot of you?" Because you're like bandaged and splint.
Yeah, and probably just like
bleeding,
bloody.
Yeah,
we've got those like short-term stuff on, like the short-term bandages and stuff. Just
exactly.
The woods, not pleasant.
There's beasts if you go too far in the woods. Come in. I can brew some tea that will help mend the soul.
Sure.
Ooh.
Ending the soul could be
Extremely welcoming for someone who just had 3 strangers knock at your door before we could even explain our
Like
plight.
she's like starting to walk in and turns around and is like, "Would you not help your countrymen in need?"
We've just seen quite a few people who don't, and it's very welcome. Thank you very much for your hospitality.
She'll, a little like taken aback by that, will walk you in. This is clearly a home for more people in the other times of the year. Everyone else seems to have gone off probably to the city to like be with family or whatever, or off to smaller villages. So it's fairly big spaces with just one person, but it's nice and warm. Hearth is burning quite brilliantly, and in a big room with lots of books along the walls. The walls are bookcases, and she'll start brewing up some tea.
I'm gonna
sit very politely.
I'm gonna ask if there's somewhere where I can freshen up a bit. I don't want to take my disguise kit.
She'll be like, yes, of course, and we'll show you to like a little small bathing room. It has sort of a brass tub and stuff like that.
I'm just gonna do the disguise kit stuff to make myself look like the brute younger brother.
Yeah, easy enough. She will quite quickly hand you a tea that Barut is actually mildly familiar with. That is sort of like a wood elven, slightly healing brew. It's the sort of thing that like helps you with aches and pains rather than mending wounds, but it's appreciative.
Something to take the edge off.
Something to take the edge off, yeah. It's not quite gonna make you see stars, but it's gonna mellow you out a bit. And that's when she kind of she doesn't brew any for herself or anything, and she's just like, so monsters, what was it out there?
First kind of monsters.
Unfortunately,
dragons?
No.
Demons?
A cyclops.
The one eye.
Yeah.
I didn't know they were around these parts.
They're not normally. Seems that there were some not so lovely people, may have been bandits. No, I don't feel good about this. No, see, they were monks. And I know that that's odd. They're from Zalstella, continent to the east. Violent people trying to end the world. The usual horrible stuff. Ambushed us in the woods. We managed to fight them off. And very injured now. Very, very injured. Need to sleep.
Can you give me a persuasion roll, please?
Yeah. It's funny when the truth sounds just more ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
14.
nods along.
Yeah.
But there is a seriousness to your voice that makes her not like laugh at any point. Like, is the world's ending? And just like, well, you are gravely hurt. If you need to rest, there are comfortable rooms with no one in them.
That would be very much appreciated at this point. Would it? Would you like compensation for the rooms?
Oh, no. There's no need.
Are you sure?
It is my duty by the grace of the gods to help you when you're so clearly in need of somewhere safe to recover.
I'm gonna give her a wood elven blessing, in Elvish. Now, which god would most of the wood elves of Aradia?
You can actually give me a religion roll right now.
Yeah.
So Aradia is a little complicated, and you're aware of it because you've been through it. In Aradia, yes, the official religion is sort of the Seldarane and Eraldin Arkbrike. But a lot of people worship Fae. Like, a lot. You don't notice any of that iconography here, and the iconography of Eraldin Arkbrike, she straight up is wearing a necklace that sort of displays this sort of sword and things. It's not like, it's close enough that you're like, oh, this is why she's being so nice. She's actually devout. And the whole thing of Eraldin Arkbrike, the leader god of the Elven pantheon, is be kind to your allies. You never know when you might need them. You know, he's a god of a lot of things because they're elves and they do a lot of things: music, dance, battle. People usually take one side of it, and so that's probably why she's being so nice. Is you are injured soldiers,
right? Then I'm gonna give her a blessing in Elven that essentially says, "May your home always be at peace, so you may never find the need to call us for aid."
She will kind of bow to you with that, and then will show you to comfortable rooms. Again, they're Elven rooms. You're all in one room, but it's comfortable. It's warm. She chose one where the heat is like venting through the building nicely.
Appreciated.
Yeah. No, there's definitely rooms that are like just frozen cold because this is a big elven vineyard. In times of harvest, you know, there's probably like 100 elves who are around in this place or more.
Right.
So chooses a nice warm place, freshens it up a bit for you, and then mostly leaves you alone. If you do want to talk to her, she seems to be downstairs reading, whereas you're like up above her.
Gotcha.
Basically.
At some point during this whole situation, kind of over by the hearth, I'm gonna ask her, what's your name?
My name is Prue.
It is very nice to meet you. We don't meet many kind folk in our travels, so this is a bit of a change of pace for us.
That's why I don't travel.
That's smart.
Fair.
What I'm gonna do is take a look around. I don't really have a whole lot to offer this person in terms of like blessings or anything, but I'm gonna at least do some like work around here,
like chop some firewood and stuff.
Like that's kind of where my head was at. It was like I'm gonna go out and see if there's just like an axe and a stump somewhere.
There absolutely is an axe stump for firewood. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And these are elves, so like it's not been used very recently. So you can like freshen up the firewood.
Cut up some firewood for her and kind of bring it in and spend a couple hours just stocking the place up in that regard, at least.
When it's because you could have got here around like 4 p.m. In a couple of hours, she actually does cook some stuff. It's fresh elven breads, and a little bit of like pates and things on the side, and she will say, "You're not in the condition to drink anything. Otherwise, I would suggest you taste the vintage." But
you've never met someone from the north, have you?
Well, it would be a danger with such open and bloody wounds.
Is that true? And I looked at Baruch.
Virtually points his head out. We've drunk with far worse wounds.
You never heard of it before? Sounded like poppycock.
That's new.
Yeah.
I mean, it's new information for me, but you know, I don't know. Could be. Could be not. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, we did see what happened to Varric when he lost all of that blood and then
Yeah,
drank.
and then drank. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? Based on Varric, yes, it's a bad idea.
Yeah. Was a pretty good idea for me.
Well, well, perhaps when we've rested up a little bit would be excellent to test the vintage. I'm sure it's wonderful.
And you are fed and given comfort. Is there anything any of you really want to do, or are you just going to rest, zonk it?
That's so good.
I was, while like resting, I was going to try and do the dreaming.
Mm-hmm.
I have an idea.
What do you want to try and do?
I will be helping you with that as much as possible.
Okay, I want to go back to when the person was running and get Tobias to let them run and
The
root,
monk. Yeah.
and I want to follow them.
Okay.
And if I can't follow them far, I'll then ask them where they're running.
We give me a religion roll with advantage because Barut is helping you out.
Yeah, I can indeed.
And you should know that I'm polishing up the Oracle class that I'm making that actually has this as one of the abilities.
Yes, and that's cool.
So you, while you're there, you get nice and comfy. You got a nice new pillow.
I was
You
about to say,
settle
I'm sitting on
down
the
in.
comfy pillow.
You're warm, and it's the kind of thing where there's just enough cold coming in that you really feel the warm rising up from below as well, which is my favorite. I love that.
Great.
And with Barut helping you do the ritual, you go off into your trance, and quite easily, because it wasn't very far ago, return to that point where you managed to yell for Tobias, put his weapon down, and he does, but is confused. And you start chasing the monk through the forest, but very quickly you start to, because you've got a great roll, you start to realize that that's not going to work. The further you get away from the point of the dream, the more disassociated it gets. The colors start to bleed out. Your brain almost starts to fill in the gaps, but not very well, and it starts to get a little weird and jumbly. So that's when you want to try and stop this person.
Yes, I want to.
You're gonna need to give me an athletics check to chase them down.
Okay. Not terrible.
They, despite their wounds, sprint far and long into the forest, and eventually you can't find yourself unable to continue to move your legs in a forest that gets darker and darker, and as you keep trying to follow, pushing just a little bit further, the forest becomes more and more rocky, filled with webs, and eventually there's no sky at all, and only well-maintained, beautifully painted ceilings above, when you're taken a few years back, and it's sort of just when you start to hear the call of your mother that sends tingles down your spine that you wake up at the start in the morning.
Oh. Okay.
No luck then.
Well, sort of. Tried something, found something out about how this works.
It's a success.
I tried to follow, and I can't follow that far before bad things happen. Now I know what to do next time, at least.
Good.
Tea time. Get up and start making tea.
Yeah. Hell yeah. She will be brewing the same healing tea, even though, D&D wise, you're full health, you're still injured, you're still achy. Usually, better than usual, because, this tea is helping, and having a safe place to rest is helping. But Prue will give you another round of tea and check up on you and offer a very simple kind of breakfast.
Ignore that, I bumped the button.
Now remember, you only heal up to half of your max hit dice.
Yes.
Just remember that.
I deliberately went down to half.
Hey. But yeah, she will continue, and she will straight up ask when you're all together eating some kind of muesli, right? And Malk, she will ask like, so if you're traveling adventurers, wherein are you going?
Look to Brute.
We're still trying to figure that out. Right.
I would have the makeup on again as well.
Yeah, I figured. You'd be basically trying to have it on at all times.
We're still trying to figure that out. We were up north, then we came here, then we went to Astana, then we came back. Now we have somewhere else to go, but I need to figure that out first.
I have very little in the way of maps and trade routes.
That's all right. We've got ourselves at least a head start on that. We have some ideas about what we're doing, but not quite sure what we're doing next. Hopefully, we'll figure that out soon. Especially now that we're rested.
You're welcome to rest here as long as you need. It's selfishly quite nice to have some company in the coldest months.
Well,
do you live here by yourself?
I'm watching over the place. No one else is here at this time of year. I don't own the place. It's sort of a communal thing. In the spring, in the summer, you can't merely go 5 feet without bumping into someone. So I suppose it's nice to have the solitude as well as the company.
Both are welcome at times. Depends on the moment. We should probably, though, be on the move sooner rather than later, as nice as the company is.
Well, if you're in need of a place to sleep and you're in the neighborhood, I will do my best.
We very much appreciate that. If I had a home to offer you in return, I would suggest if you do ever travel, that I would open the door. But my home is, far further than either you or I will be traveling, I'm sure.
And you head out.
Yep.
Into the cold.
Yep.
To a frosty morning, but probably you leave late morning after, gathering your party.
Mm-hmm.
Shame about the horses. It's going to take longer to get back now.
Two of them are out there.
Yeah, hopefully they found owners that are less likely to get them hurt.
They got ate.
Probably eaten, yeah.
Owlbears in this forest.
We can hope. Oh god, owlbears. No.
Yeah.
So we're heading back to the docks?
Suppose so.
Stealthy as we can.
And I'm actually going to take a look around as well to see if anybody's followed us this far.
How long would it take us to get to the docks? Like, is it a case where we're going to get to the docks and have to rest for another night at that place?
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, unless you want to go without any sleep.
Then I guess what I'll do is when we're in places that still has people but is less crowded. So in the periods where I feel like we're most at risk of being seen, 3 times I will use Pass Without a Trace on us.
Well, you leave the vineyard.
Oh no.
And you've kind of got a decision. And Barut will sort of hand it off to Tobias to make. Whether you go back through the forest, there's a chance of danger, or go on the Old King's Road between Thundrel and Aradia. You could even go alongside it, trying to be a little more stealthy, which would be the fastest way to go. And when he kind of hands the map to you to deal with that, Barut just kind of wanders off. You're just like, Barut, what? You look around and he's gone.
Huh?
Where's
Tobias?
Where is that?
I was going to
sweet
ask
elvish
you.
Boy. I'm gonna can I roll perception to try to
You
find
can roll perception, survival,
It's the same for me. I'll do survival.
locate object because he's a tool.
I'll do I'll do perception.
Do I notice any traces of Baruit?
Luckily, you know him. So you're like, I mean, unfortunately, you know him. So for a bit, you're like, he's probably just like behind the bushes taking a leak.
Sure.
And then you're like, maybe like 10 minutes later, you're like, no,
Yeah.
you should really look for him. You look around, and luckily he wears heavy armor that leaves quite a boot print, especially in the crunchy morning frosty grasses around here.
Amazing that you guys didn't hear me walk off. Really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're really invested in the map.
We've gotten used to the sound. We've gotten like used to the sound. Like it's
That's
one of those
true.
things when we hear it so much, it just sort of blends in.
Absolutely.
And you end up going a little bit more deeper into the forest until the tracks kind of trail off, and you actually look around and you see his armor just kind of discarded, leaning up against one of the trees, as well as like nearly
fuck.
all of his things.
He's having a fever dream, or he's been eaten. It's one of the two.
Okay, this is not good.
Hey, you two, give me intelligence checks.
Oh no, I know what it is.
Now that's funny. Because, yep.
I'm so glad that you guys are so well.
So you know what this is? You know what this is? Tobias, you see like the suit of armor, you're like, there he is! Because it's like leaning up against a tree.
Yeah.
Like, focus on this whole
I'm just
wonder.
dumbfounded by this that I'm not like paying enough attention. I'm like, what?
I could feel that was going to be a poor roll before I even made it.
Same.
You're
Yeah.
wondering where shit gets sidetracked today.
So it's when you realize that Barut is not in the armor, you realize that all his things are here, and you don't know where he is. Now, this is similar to where you were before, where you got a little bit away from the sort of vineyards and stuff, but you're not too far away. Like you could go 5 minutes and find like a pathway or something, or like a well. You're not super far away from people.
I'm gonna look up into the trees.
There are trees. There is a canopy of
I
leafless.
don't see any weird bird
branches.
things.
No,
Okay, good.
I mean you do because it's an elven forest, but none that
No,
alarm
but,
you.
like, not the specific bird things that I remember.
I am going to... I guess, can I roll survival? Gonna try
Yeah,
to
you can roll
track-
survival again.
And I'm just looking at my...
You basically got to re-find the tracks.
Okay. Let's see. Okay.
Oh no! I'm gonna have a look around, just perceiving.
Right!
It's the same. Almost worse.
You can't find him. You look around, the ground, the forest floor is like coated in that kind of mush of dead leaves, and doesn't actually, like, in some places you find a bit of a couple of footprints, but then they don't really go anywhere, and you really find no sign of him at all. You can't.
Can I help him this time?
If you want to
Can I
try
get-
again,
The dog to try to track him?
you can. You got all his
Yes!
clothes there.
Yes.
All his
All his
stuff. not
stuff
his
is
clothes.
here.
Yeah.
So if I like take...
Here's the question:
Well,
are my
just-
traveling clothes there?
Anything that you weren't. So everything in your bags is there.
Okay.
And your
'cause
armor is there.
I wear clothes underneath. my
Yeah,
armor.
your clothes under your armor are not there.
Okay, good, because that's.
But
where
they
I
haven't
keep-
really noticed that. They just kind of see a pile of all of Barut's things.
But that's where I keep the cheese in my pocket.
He's on a cheese-induced nightmare.
Pocket cheese.
He's on a lucid cheese dream.
Man, that cheese is gonna be real bad by now.
First
Yeah,
thing,
it
if all-
ages nicely. Don't
if
worry
all
about it.
Barut's stuff is here, I'm gonna pull the gate stone out of the backpack.
Your
Oh, yeah.
gate stone is not in the backpack.
Oh, that's so terrible.
That's when you
Now
kind of
back-
look. You're like, oh,
Now we have a problem. Like Baruit, whatever, but the gate
Yeah.
stone.
No.
All right.
Realistically, yeah, the game stone is like this is a apocalyptic thing. So
All right, I'm gonna get Bjor to like smell his stuff and be like, "All right, go find him. Where's he at?"
I'm trying to find Bjor's stats. He's got a +3 on perception and advantage.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So Bjor kind of like starts sniffing around, and will lead you.
I will awkwardly be trying to carry his stuff behind him and almost dragging the armor just to try and
Getting
keep
very muddy. Get snagged on things.
I'm just trying to bring it not carefully.
It's actually quite a few hours until you find him. It's one of those things where these forests are full, have little secret little caves and nooks away in the side of hillsides or in the cliffs and things, and that's where you find Baruut in his traveling clothes and with chalk, a whole bunch of draconic symbols just kind of drawn all over the place. The gatestone on the floor. The box like discarded. Like you find a box before you find him. It's just been like thrown in the mud. And
Open?
he's just the stone is not in the box. When you find him, the stone is in front of him. And he's just it's gibberish. There's like a whole bunch of gibberish symbols like sketched all over the wall. You can actually give me an intelligence check, you two, to figure anything about him.
Feel good about this one.
It's me. I'm dragging the thing.
Went me, went Tobias, it went...
You fucking! I had to drag this fucking thing so hard.
When you hear Varric's voice, Baruut, you snap back to reality. He's yelling at you for something. You can give me an intelligence check.
Why the fuck you should fucking carry armor? This stuff is heavy. How the hell do you walk around with this?
At the moment. What do you mean? What's happening? Why do you have my armor?
Because you left it by a tree a couple of hours that way. You just see like a drag mark along the ground.
There's just a drag mark along the ground. Your beautiful armor is like a thick, like 2-inch layer of dirt and compacted snow up the legs now where he's been dragging it.
And then I just fall into the snow. Just
I'm gonna take the
how the hell do you walk in that?
Put my armor back on.
While you're doing that, I'm gonna take the gate stone and put it back in the box.
Why the hell did you take that out of that?
And I'm gonna go ahead and put that in my backpack and be like, I'm gonna hang on to this for a little while.
The fuck is that? I'm gonna
What does the Draconic say?
Yeah, I'm gonna point to the room. The fuck is that?
Give me another intelligence check.
Okay.
You can read Draconic. You can read the symbols.
We're having a real
But
dumb
the
day.
symbols don't... They're not words. They're not really making words. Not most of them. You do recognize one word, which is haven. Another word which kind of translates to laboratory. In the same area. But most of it is gibberish.
Okay. I'm gonna do something weird, and I'm gonna lore keep my own shit.
When you lore keep it, you figure out what this is. It's a map.
Oh, good. It's a map, apparently.
And a map where you've been trying to decode where the other two are. The other two gate stones, because you know where two are. And one of them is off into the sea, a little bit in the West Sea. That's where it says Haven Laboratory. It seems to be, it is where you left it. Safe under the water. And the other one is on Zarstella. On Mount Birth. which Barut knows Mount Birth is where a bunch of weird humans live on Zalstella.
Good news. Bad news. News.
What?
It's a map.
Okay. Why did you draw a map?
I don't know.
It's a map to what? Of what?
Would you be mad if I said Gatestones?
No, that would be great, because then we'd know where they are.
We also just pinged this location to a map.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
It is written in chalk, so it can be washed away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I'm gonna oh
Do
gosh.
everything-
I'm gonna copy the map into my book. And then I'm going to wash away the chalk.
It's gonna take
I'm
quite
gonna
a bit of
start,
time,
like-
but yeah.
That's fine. As much time as it needs to take.
As he does that, I'm gonna. Is it what type of ground is this on?
It's on like
dirt?
the rocky wall of a cave.
Oh fuck!
You're like
Fuck,
just
where they
a
would know
little
when you
bit
need
in
it.
like an overhang of a cliff, you know? It seems to be, and actually that's one of the reasons why you couldn't tell it was a map, because it's been like drawn like if as if it was projected down at like an angle against several different surfaces, which is why lore keeping helped you do it.
Yeah.
Fuck. There's no places on the wall that I might be able to loosen some rock to try and
You could try.
get chunks off this.
Oh, you want to basically collapse. So it's an overhang of a cliff. You could collapse. You could get like above and like collapse the cliff to kind of like cover it a bit.
We can just wash the chalk away.
Are there magics that can bring that stuff back?
I have no idea.
So we should...
I don't want to
Better
leave
safe
anything
than
up to chance.
I'm
Yeah,
not even gonna roll Arcana on that. I have no idea.
That is one of those things where it's like,
these guys have ridiculous magics I've never seen. I don't want to risk it.
Look, there are many types of magic in the world. That's fine, but we're gonna wash it first,
Yeah, wash
Yeah.
it first.
so
This
that
is-
they can't piece it back together with the chalk either.
Yeah, wash it, then we collapse it because just world-ending consequences if they see this map. Do
Look.
everything we can to cover it.
No one should be trusting us with world-ending consequences. Whoever made that decision needs to rethink it. It was us, by the way. We made that decision that we are trusting ourselves with world-ending consequences. We really need to think about these things more. But in all seriousness, yeah. Okay, so once I have it copied out, I'm just gonna wash it down, and then
it takes you the better half of the rest of the day. It ain't already tracking you for several hours. By the time you're done copying it out, because you know that everything has to be precise, and then back down, and washing it all off, it's like getting dark. But then it is winter.
Oh, okay. Gonna climb up. Do I see anything obvious?
What do you mean?
I want to use the. I want to see if there's anywhere that I think the keen powered strikes might help me crack in the right places and have it fall. I'm trying to carefully, like instead of strength, like just shove it as hard as I can.
No,
I want to find the weak points and go for that.
I get what you're trying to say. I'm trying to think of what dice roll you'd have to do for it. Investigation.
Okay. Oh, it's nearly an 18. Damn it. Not too bad, though.
Really. Not anywhere. Like, you're honestly like, if I had a shovel. You don't have a shovel.
Oh, nope.
we
Well,
should
like,
Halo
really
has a
buy.
fucking pull bar.
We should really buy that kind of gear at some point, so that when we're trying to do random
A
shit,
shovel comes up in D&D like quite a
and
bit.
like seriously, I do a lot of burials. Like this is my job. I
You
should
know what
really go and buy a shovel.
Right now,
know what
you gotta just use your hands. Takes forever.
Yeah, it does.
Are you
Like,
telling me there's a better
No.
way to dig a grave than just using my mouth?
And by the mouth, I mean the mouth on the shield that I have.
You know what I do have that I don't mind ruining? Hand axes, 2 of them.
Yes.
Why do you have
That doesn't really. That's
I
not.
just have them.
A hand axe is very small. That's not really gonna be the kind of thing that's gonna do anything about anything.
We could always ambush them. If we know they're coming here.
I both hate and love this plan. We don't know they're coming here, though.
We don't.
We
but
could wait
again,
here for like literally a millennia, and we don't know that they.
Well, one of you could. 2 of you could.
Well, 2 of us could.
So here's the thing: we don't know if
I
they're
don't
coming.
think Brute's lasting that long.
No, Brute's gonna die by the time.
If
300
we
this way.
set up a trap for them and they don't show up after a day, then that's fine. If they do show up, then we're ready for them, and we'll see what happens. It would give us information. It would tell us if they're paying attention
That's
to the
true.
location of the stone
actually-
or not.
Yeah.
It would also allow us to thin their ranks.
Sure, why
Not
not?
a bad idea.
The question
And
is
it's also
where
a cave.
where do you want to kind of settle yourselves in?
I want to try. I think I will want to be up in a tree.
Where you want to
wrapped up.
sleep? It's gonna be
Oh,
night.
I can wrap myself up and meditate up there if I have to.
How deep in the cave were these drawings that Baru
Very
did?
shallow, and in fact, the cave goes deeper still.
Okay.
None of you have really like poked your head in.
Because one thing that I'm gonna do outside of the cave, I'm going to use my 2 level 2 spells to set up 2 cordon of arrows and kind of bury them under the snow so that they're out there
Yes.
ready to
Yes.
shoot anyone who tries to go into this cave.
Good idea.
I'm also going to set an alarm at the perimeter of the cave so that if someone goes in, they will be shot with arrows and an alarm will go off.
You get a result of wheel. For like the first time, like in like a year, you roll the bones and there's a positive outcome.
Yep.
So do you want to basically camp out tonight, or do you want to sort of? I guess if you're going to rest, one of you should at least keep watch the whole time, right?
Yeah.
So what's the plan for that? Because bear in mind, it's night, it's evening.
I can take first watch.
I can take a
Oh,
watch as
I'll
well.
take. I should take the midnight watch. The at least.
And you
further
want to
into the
sort of
night.
set up in a nearby tree.
Yeah.
I'll take first watch, then you take second watch because you'll have better vision in the dark.
Yeah. I think what my idea of what I'll do is when they come and if they trip the alarms, you'll know they're coming. I will go invisible and try to follow them. Worst case, I'll blink past them and run to you guys.
See, what I was thinking is I want to sleep concealed outside on the roof of the cave
That's cool.
so that I can drop down on top of them. if
Das ist
works
good
out.
idea. Can you give me a stealth roll for
Yes.
this?
Yeah, I can't really pass without trace this because it's for more time than just an hour.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Exacto, right?
Oh my god!
That's so good.
Why are we the worst today?
Well,
Because you
we've been
don't
the best
have the
and
party,
worst.
mum.
Anyways, I'm not hidden very well.
No. No, you are not. And Barut, what are you doing?
Well, as always, I'm going to be bait and camp out normally at the mouth of the cave.
I love it.
Look, I have a job to do. That job is to be the bait. and to go down, and to use heals occasionally, and to speak Draconic.
Before we do this, do we have health pots to share around just to make sure that everyone has the ability to get someone up?
I have one, so
I-
that's okay.
Do you not have any, Tash?
I do not have any.
Okay, I will give you 1 health potion.
Okay.
1 potion of healing to Vieric.
Okay.
There we
Just to make sure I can quickly douse it in someone's mouth if they need it, or save myself if I need
Yeah.
it, that sort of thing.
Why don't we take a quick break now, because we went overtime on one, now everything's fucked up. And we'll be back in a couple of minutes.
go.
Sounds good to me.